Papa Gut.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Nothing much. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's good. It seems like you're doing pretty great today.
Thanks. Well, what's up? You want to introduce yourself and then tell people like who you are,
Oh,
what you're here to
yeah,
talk about?
sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Papa Gut from TikTok. I'm like a
hmm
30-year-old man for some reason that got famous on a kid's app.
Okay,
I'm not a groomer. Um,
that's good.
but yeah, that's
Got
pretty
a
much
lot
it.
going for you so far. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing
Okay.
pretty. I just had to get
So,
like the bases down,
30
because
years old, big on TikTok, not a groomer.
yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm probably not a groomer. Anyway. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I guess I got big over the summer. I started in March this year. Um,
hmm
I got pretty big like honestly, I got pretty big for like making fun of kids on the app, and then like some political stuff too. Like the
hmm
George Floyd situation was blowing up. Like I had some, I guess people appreciated my takes on that.
hmm
And then here we are now. Now I'm under a little bit of controversy for the whole the Brandon Bernard situation. So
Oh my God, what did you do?
I was a little blunt in my take on it. People weren't too.
Wait. Okay, wait. Catch me up. What is this about?
Oh, like the Brandon Bernard situation. Do you know what that? Do you?
I don't.
I
Totally
have no
clueless.
idea.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So he's a black guy that was on death. Well, he was actually executed, I think, a couple days ago, and he was on death row because he was involved in a. When he was 18, I think he was 40 when he was put to death. He was
hmm
18, and he was involved in like part of like a gang thing where
Okay.
they kidnapped a couple of people, like Todd and Stacey Begley. They
hmm
and I don't think he was involved in all of it, but they drove them around, tried to like sell jewelry and like use their cards and whatnot, and then they
hmm
inevitably like shot him, both of them, and then like he had lit the car on fire afterwards. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so like that was like a big thing, but then like Kim Kardashian picked it up. There was like questions on like how involved he was and whatnot, and it was like a whole big thing. So somebody asked me about it, and like I was blunt, and I was like, to be honest with you, like I'm more concerned with the two people who were killed than him. Like I wasn't exactly empathetic, so I was like, I don't really necessarily care. I'm not like an advocate for capital punishment, but when you hear of a story like that, I wasn't too empathetic for him. So then people kind of like lost it on me.
Huh.
So I mean, I get it. It's like a lot of. I mean, it is what it is.
hmm
But yeah, so now I'm just vibing. I was playing some World of Warcraft before. That's what we've been doing.
Well, damn.
I know, a lot of fun, right?
So, I'm not going to agree or disagree with any of your positions because every time somebody explains a particular thing to me,
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
people
don't know
get
what it. It's a lot
yeah,
more nuanced than that. Like I'm not gonna like.
mhm,
Yeah. I wouldn't take a stance either because like who knows
sure,
if I didn't properly advocate for the pure situation, and even if I did, that would take us like 20 minutes. And I don't really
sure.
know that either of us want to do that.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, if you want to, I
Um,
suppose we could, but
no, I'm good.
yeah.
I'll probably end up dropping a super hot take. I feel like I might end up siding with, I guess, what you would consider your opposition, but I feel like it would be for
Sure.
totally different reasons. I actually think that part of the most important part of our justice system, I think, is how we treat like guilty people and whatnot. I think that's a really important part. But I'm guessing a lot of people are probably following. Is the guy you said he's black?
Yeah. So I think that like
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
probably been
factor
a
in.
like, yeah, really heavily racialized issue. So, but yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know how
but
necessarily. It seems like some issues that BLM picks up aren't necessarily racial issues, but then again, the core of the issues are usually important anyway. So
mhm, okay.
but yeah.
Um, well, um, what's what's up then? What do you want
I
to
don't
chat
know.
about?
I don't know. No, because I mentioned like UBI. You said like you didn't want to talk about it. I don't really have a whole lot to chat about. I was just
Uh-huh.
wanting to pop in and say what's up.
Oh,
See if we could just bullshit. I mean, I remember, just shoot this shit. I don't know, man. Everything's been so
mhm.
like crazy lately. I'm not even too sure I want to talk about anything necessarily super political or get into like any heated debates.
Well, why do you feel big on UBI? I guess.
Oh, okay. Now you just threw me off guard. What the fuck?
Well, you just said UBI, so that's okay. What do you got?
Well, yeah. So I'm a big UBI guy. I mean, like before, I only really got into politics like very slowly in like 2016, probably because of Donald Trump, because like everything was so crazy. And I've always
hmm
been like pretty progressive, but like UBI just kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I'm a very simple guy, so like the simplicity of UBI really speaks to me. I mean, I'm not super like I don't hate the government, but I do would appreciate a realistic minimum amount of control from the government which UBI kind of suggests to me, like a toning
Hmm.
down on welfare programs, an expansion of like opportunity just in general. I mean, there's factors of just like all marginalized groups having like more value with a universal basic income. I think it's better than constant cuts to corporations to keep them into particular towns, like factory towns, for instance, just giving constant subsidies just to keep people there. To me, it
Hmm.
makes more sense to just invest like a UBI, because I would imagine a ton of other businesses would just gravitate there due to the fact that there's just a ton of money there. So like it's all like just the comprehensiveness of it, the simplicity of it, and like how impactful I feel it would be is like my big reason for being a huge proponent of UBI.
Hmm. Okay. Um, fuck, my answer is really boring. I don't know. I'm not like I don't have like a particular. I don't have like a particular advocacy for any like economic system or any policy. I'm a very big like empirically driven guy. So I feel like if I feel like if I would support UBI if there's like a lot of data showing it worked well. Yeah. So I think it'd be cool to run more small scale experiments on it. Like I heard one was going on in Canada and it got canceled. I heard that weren't there supposed to be a few billionaires in the US that wanted to give money to some people to see how it would turn out? Like they were supposed to do like their own small scale UBI experiment. That sounded interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much they were. I know that like when Elon Musk and Andrew Yang are obviously big into it. I don't know how large scale they did. I think the one in Canada. I don't know if that's the one. The only, and again, there's not a lot of studies on it, but the only one that I saw that was negative that they talked about was the only negatives that they've seen, and like of course it's not like wide scale enough, and it's not specifically to like the UBI that Andrew Yang pushes, but
Mhm.
talks about how the biggest negatives are people on unemployment longer when they lose their jobs, and like desired work hours going down. And to be honest with you, like, with the way that we're moving with technology, I'm not entirely sure that a reduction in work hours is necessarily a bad thing nowadays.
Yeah, of course not. Not necessarily. Could
Yeah.
be, but not necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I guess it depends on the job. I mean, obviously, there's some jobs where you can kind of get your. I know, like, I think it might be Japan or China or something, where they're testing out 4-day work weeks and they seem to increase productivity. But there's jobs where you literally just it doesn't matter how hard you work, you have to stay there the whole day, like bus drivers, I suppose. But
Yeah, what I keep hearing so much about how like a new study comes out and says homework is ineffective, or a new study comes out and says longer hours are bad, blah blah. Blah. But for some reason, it seems like that never actually changes. But yeah.
what, like that we're still doing like longer work hours?
Yeah, we still do like 5-day work week. Like I don't know anybody that works in anything having to do with software development or any corporate work at all that is like, oh yeah, when I'm there for 40 hours a week, as soon as I'm in my desk, I'm working hard and then I work hard. It's usually like, yeah, most of my work will be done in like 2 to 3 hours and I bullshit around the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think I think the study is like people only work like 45% of their day.
If
Um,
that, yeah.
Yeah, right. And like I used to work a union job, and like I'm telling you, if that is the key word. I mean, I was like a manager for, and I was like in the union still. I was a manager for like cleaning buses. So like I would get to work at like 1. I would dick around till like probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. My guys would come in
Mhm.
around 6. We would do work for like 3 hours, and then we're pretty much done. So
Yeah, and then you get fucked in a normal job if you like why the fuck would I bust my ass, work super hard, and then get sent home early? And now like when my paycheck rolls around, I've got like 30 hours showing for this week. Like I'm fucking myself by like clocking out early, you know? It was
oh
like,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Like that's
Mhm.
absolutely. That's a big issue for people. And that's something that really
Mhm.
it only seems like, yeah, in like those tech areas that they have like the privilege of potentially finishing early and going home,
Mhm.
which is bizarre because you'd think you'd want to get people who want to finish as quickly as possible. Like for instance, like I'm doing like a renovations on my girlfriend's house right now. So like we want them to be in and out and done as soon as possible. I don't really care necessarily how long they work on the house. I just want them to be in, out, done, and have do a good quality of work. The faster the
Mhm.
better. If they could do the same job in a week that somebody could do in 4 weeks, I'll pay them the same amount. I really don't care. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, at the very least that's like the benefit of being a contractor is that you just bill for a job and then fuck it. Like I doubt they my experience when you contract jobs out is there's usually you have like a book that will tell you like this is what you bill for this or this or that, and there's like hours listed, but at least for insurance jobs back when we did like construction carpet cleaning shit, like the insurance jobs all have like line items that you charge for, and it doesn't really matter how long it takes. There's just a default charging sheet basically. Yeah. Which I guess is nice because if you finish early, you just dig around and then leave, and then you're good. But
Yeah, no, I mean that makes perfect sense. I know some of these contractors like upcharge you for like whatever they buy. Like, you go to Home Depot, they buy something for $100, and they pop like an extra 20 in there.
sure, yeah.
But that's all like the little stuff. So, my my chat wants me to ask you a question. It's gonna be an absurd question. But they
Yeah.
want me
Wait, are
to.
you streaming live on TikTok or?
No, I'm on Twitch. I'm actually a Twitch streamer
Oh,
too. Like that's. I was afforded the ability to do that as a full-time job.
Gotcha. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, yeah, go for it. Ask away, whatever you
It's
want.
it's an absurd question because like I was in like a little of a controversy a couple weeks ago where like some young black girl did like whiteface, but it was kind of funny because the context of it was like she was like, oh, if Trump wins, and this is my new makeup routine, right? So I was like, oh, that's kind of
Mhm,
funny. So
mhm.
then people were like, because I have conservative followers, I have progressive followers. I'm very, in the mix. So some of my conservative followers were upset. They were like, "Oh, that's really racist." Is that another thing? I was like, "Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's funny, right?" And then I talked about how potentially we might be able to do blackface in a tasteful way, and
Sure.
that's the question. Do you think that there's a tasteful way to do blackface?
Man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just really don't give a fuck about blackface. It's like such a first world issue that I don't care about.
Mm,
Um, like most of the blackface that people get mad about is usually like a white guy thought it would be funny to do blackface for an outfit, or
hmm
somebody's doing like a cosplay of like a black character, and then people get like really ass mad about it. Like if somebody was doing blackface and it was literally like I did blackface to make fun of black people, that's really shitty. But I view it the same way as cultural appropriation. Like, I think you can do things in a racist manner, in which case it's bad. But it's not bad because it's blackface, and it's not bad because it's cultural appropriation. It's bad because you're just being a racist piece of shit. Like you're using something to make fun of another race of people. But like, if somebody wants to paint a different color, I really don't give a fuck. And I don't think most people give a fuck. I think it's usually white people that get really mad about shit like that. Like, I don't know. I like you probably shouldn't do it just because it's like a cultural taboo, but I just, man, I don't give a fuck. There are so many things that are more important than dumb shit like blackface, in my opinion. But
All right, so
you
you're
know,
saying yes that we can do a blackface in a tasteful way?
I mean, yeah, I
I,
mean, I think like they did, and I mean, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like a really good example of that. No, not, I'm sorry, not that. Well, right, there might be an episode of that.
I
I'm
mean, I
thinking
feel
of
like there has to be. It's always
there
sunny.
probably is.
Yeah,
I'm actually thinking of Community though. Community has like a pretty funny example of that. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. did that. In
yeah, right. Yeah, then
yeah,
the joke was on
Tropic
like
Thunder,
method
and
actors. Yeah, the joke was like
yeah,
method actors.
mhm.
It wasn't like making fun of black people.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah, there's
thinking of
like a lot
doing
of
it.
stuff like that.
I was thinking of doing it for Christmas because like,
Doing blackface.
well, okay, so there's this like the meme and like I know TikTok is like this big online like I know that TikTok is not representative. Even any online space is representative of like the real world, right? But like people go crazy. But one of the memes on TikTok is like there's a few creators that are like, oh, Abraham Lincoln was black. George Washington was black. Like everybody was black now. Like people, Native Americans' origins were black people. Everything was used to be black. So I was gonna make the joke that like, oh, I'm like the what did you call it? I'm the historically accurate Santa Claus. And I was like, maybe that's a tasteful way to do blackface, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you could go for it.
I'm probably not going to go for it.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like a
like it's just
pretty.
not. It's just not the worth. I don't think anybody's going to understand my artistic.
Yeah, I would say some battles are. I'm really bad to ask like what battles are worth fighting because I'll stake out and die on any fucking hill if I think it's a position I believe in. But
Well, I don't think I
most
believe
people
that much in blackface.
Mhm.
It was like a
I
joke
get
that my followers are like pretty like they're like, yeah, you should totally do it. And there's like a lot of younger kids and
Mhm.
like they I imagine they just think it would be funny. But I'm already losing
Yeah.
like a ton of followers on TikTok, so I'm like, I don't think I should be reinserting myself into drama right now.
Sure, probably not. Yeah.
I already lost, I think, like 10 or 15,000 followers.
Damn.
Yeah.
Over the execution take.
Yeah, they're pretty upset about that. They're, I guess I was just very blunt. I don't know if you want to like watch the original video, but like it was a pretty blunt take. So, uh,
Yeah, listen, don't worry. I know all about
yeah,
pretty blunt takes.
I know that you've had some shit going on. I'm not super educated on like a lot of like YouTube stuff going on. It's like very crazy to me. I've seen some stuff. Like to me personally, I haven't really seen anything from you that
Mhm.
like make me warrant going crazy.
Mhm.
But
Most of my takes are actually like pretty reasonable. Like you have to be like very far off on one side of the political spectrum to like think that I'm insane. But a lot of people online are very extreme in both directions. So I get
yeah,
like called like super extreme. Like I have people going crazy because I'm like, hey, I think you should be able to just defend your property against rioters and be like, oh, like
yep,
people lose
yeah.
their minds. Like I don't think it's that. I don't think that's that nuclear of a take, guys. Like
I don't
now I
think
could
so
say
either.
things in nuclear ways for sure, but
No, I understand. I'm like just now, honestly, like really learning that. So
mhm,
it's just crazy because I've always played video games, but I've never like been in like online spaces like this. People are
mhm.
nuts. Like I'll make a progressive take, and I'll get told I'm just pandering to progressives, and like they're not even like hot takes. Like I'm just like, hey, I think maybe we should. Oh, like today, do you know who? Oh, I can't remember this guy's name. It's this guy who dresses up as the Joker, and he's like incredibly racist. I don't know
Wait,
if
is it the Santa Barbara Joker? Am I thinking of the
Gypsy
right guy?
Crusader.
Oh no, never mind. I don't know who it is. I'm thinking of it,
Okay.
some crazy, stupid, cringe meme guy on Twitter a long time ago, or the Santa Cruz Joker or somebody. That, but never mind. You're probably thinking of somebody different. Go for it.
No, it's just this Gypsy Crusader. I think he's relatively new, and like the narrative out there was like, oh, he used to be like this like progressive liberal guy, and then he went to like a BLM protest one day, and he was trying to just be like a journalist covering stories, and then he got the shit beaten out of him, and now he's like super racist to the point where like he's on Omegle, like spouting off the N word, like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of, yeah. And then but somebody sent me a video. It's like, hey, this is what he used to do, and he used to just be like, another like MAGA conspiracy theorist. So I'm like, obviously he's probably pushed a little more extreme, but like it's not like this guy was like a champion for like progressive rights in the first place. And people are like, wow, you're just really pandering to progressives now, and it's like, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
this isn't like exactly like a tough thing to do here. I'm not like very
Yeah, there's
intelligent.
a lot
It's
of things where people are like, oh, I used to be on this, and then this happened, and I changed my mind, and it'll be like, wow, that's crazy. You used to be very left, you like, and because of one bad thing that happened, now you're pro the wall, anti healthcare, anti immigration. Like that's really, it's almost like you probably didn't really believe in those things in the first place. Like, I don't believe that there are these one small events that radically change an entire person's fucking belief system. It's probably more that they just didn't believe in those things too strongly initially, which is fine. But like, yeah.
oh yeah, no, but like that's completely out of it's like almost like a shaming tactic. It's like, oh, I would have been with you if, but it's like, come on. Like I've had my
Oh
moments.
yeah, and then those things too. People pretend, yeah, like oh,
Mhm.
if they wouldn't have shamed this one guy, blah blah blah, then I would be pro like
Yeah.
affordable healthcare. And it's like that really, that's the one thing that like knocked you. Okay,
It's like
interesting.
something stupid. Like I like what was it like it was probably a couple months ago, but there was like an audio that like, a lot of people were using, a lot of black progressives were using to put down black conservatives. And I'm like, hey guys, I think that's kind of stupid that you're doing that.
Hmm.
And like whatever. And then like it was just instant, like the whole black community, like stay out of our business kind of thing. And like that would have been the moment I was like, wow, guys, you know what? I used to advocate for BLM, but now that you made me upset, I hate black people now, and I'm total conservative. You know what I mean? Like that's not what happened. I'm just making that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm the exact same way. Like I have had so many issues with so many online communities, but like I don't think that like one bad interaction is like, well, you know what, guys, I'm actually a fascist now. Screw you. Like
Yeah.
I got
Right.
bullied too many times on Twitter, and now my whole fucking political identity is gonna be changed. Like, okay, why would you ever give someone that much control over you? Like, it's kind of weird.
No, yeah, I don't. It's just stupid. I mean, I guess like I get it from kids, like actual children who like are super
Mhm.
sensitive. But like if you're an adult online, like get over yourself.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What I find very bizarre though is that like when I did the whole Brandon Bernard thing, just in general, anytime I have like a controversy, I invite anybody on to have like a nice, calm, conversation. I don't really like debates, air quotes, right?
Mhm.
I kind of like, a lot of times people come into a debate with like they're trying to win rather than trying to have like an honest conversation.
Of course.
So I'll try to debate, and like nobody will like, people will show up, but it's usually like people who don't have a big platform. They just show up and they want to like vent and they want to talk, and I'll have like a great conversation. Everybody leaves happy, but like none of the big creators that call me out show up. It's very
Mhm.
weird. People, and then when they do, they find out that you're like very calm, like you're not this insane motherfucker, and they don't posture when you're like one on one. But it's just like a whole online pissing posturing contest. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I've had so many people that will like go so fucking hard online, and then like when we actually talk, they like walk back or concede almost every point, and then as soon as they leave the conversation, then they're back on Twitter like talking shit again. It's like what the fuck? It happens so much that I'll tell a person while I'm talking to them like. I look forward to you talking shit about me on Twitter 24 hours. And I'm like, dude, why would I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember the last guy that I did this, it might have been Xander Hall, was doing it in like 12 hours, or it might have been less. I was like, what the fuck? Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, people are whatever. Yeah, people are crazy.
Yeah, I don't really get it. It's just so weird. Like, I mean, like the whole point of
Hmm.
the conversation. I don't know. That's just to me. Like, I enjoy trying to like educate myself. It's like I said, I come from like a pretty conservative area. Like Andrew Yang is kind of a person that got me more into like the progressive side. I have a pretty conservative family, more like center right, but and I'm
Hmm.
always just trying to learn stuff because like you never know. Like some of these, like I just relatively recently started to try to educate myself on things like intersectionality, and whatnot. And like it's a lot. Or like I guess gender theory. I don't know what you call it. Like trans people in
Hmm.
general. I'm still like exploring everything. I constantly talk to people who, gender fluid people and whatnot, just trying to understand. Because from the conservative perspective, like none of it makes sense. But then like you're just sitting there on the toilet at like 3 a.m. and you're like, what does it really matter? And then
Hmm.
you kind of go
Yeah.
from that point. But I
Yeah.
guess other people don't really have that kind of mentality when they're coming into these things.
Yeah. And there's a lot there to like catch up with. Like, it's a lot. And people will like because I would consider myself to be incredibly knowledgeable compared to the average internet person, even
Mhm.
about like trans issues and whatnot. But man, getting there was really hard. And if you make even the slightest misstep, you can get crucified for it. Even if it's like just an accidental, like I called somebody transgendered instead of transgender, and they're like, "Oh my
Oh,
god, this is like
really?
not like yeah, like if you do
That's
something like that, like you
nuts.
can get destroyed for it." And like people go and it's like, "Damn, I'm sorry, like fuck, I didn't know," like even if you're making these like really good faith attempts to like understand things, like people will go crazy on it, and yeah, it's difficult.
You know, I've had a couple instances, nothing like huge online where it blew up, but like I remember, like I said, like I've said before, and I kind of do believe it. So I was like, oh, if you're attracted to like a trans person, you're probably kind of a little gay, right?
Hmm.
And like just for context, like I actually am attracted to like trans people, not in like a fetishist way, but like I've engaged with trans people. I've talked to them before. I've taken like trans women on dates. I've talked to trans men before. Like I really don't care, and I consider myself like a little weird and a little gay, like whatever. But people get a little
Hmm.
upset about that, but I'm like, whatever. Like, what does it matter? I don't understand why being gay is such a bad thing to people now in like our society.
Ooh, do you know what the answer is to that? I know
Oh,
exactly why people
toxic
get upset about it.
masculinity. How's that? Did I get it?
Nope.
What is it?
It's interesting. I understand your point, and I could see arguments for it. You'd have to make it in a very careful manner, of course.
Mhm.
But so the argument would be that if you think that being attracted to a trans person makes you a little bit gay, you're invalidating their gender identity by saying that nobody attracted to a trans woman could be straight because a trans woman is not a real woman; they're part man, and therefore you must be a little bit gay if you're attracted to them. That would be
Yeah,
the line of argument that they use.
that
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. Like my counter
Mhm.
argument is always that I believe like trans women to me are women and trans men are
Mhm.
men, but like they're not the
Mhm.
same. They're different. That's not a bad thing. It's not an inherently bad thing at all. And like if you
Oh, sure. Maybe. Wait. Okay. Hold on. We're getting a lot more problematic in it.
does it
I
get worse?
understand.
Does it get
I
more
understand.
problematic saying that?
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god! See, that's the thing. Is like to
Mhm.
me, like just purely, I guess I don't know if you want to use logically. Like there is a difference, like
Mhm.
right? Like I'm not, I don't think it's like a bad difference, but like if I
It
want to,
becomes like there's a big argument over. We get into like a lot of like I don't know if you say like category theory in terms of like when we say there is a difference. Like, well, yes, there, obviously there must
right?
be some type of difference, right? But then like the people fight for recognition of these given identities, and the difference that you're talking about wouldn't be material to the types of identities that they say. So, for instance, if you consider yourself like a trans woman, you would
Mhm.
say that, well, I'm a woman, and because the category of woman would be like a socially defined thing, and that socially defined thing can include trans women, therefore trans women are women, would be the argument. And if, when you try to say like, well, trans women and women are different, they're looking at it of the perspective of like, well, here's my category of what a woman is, and now you're trying to change it. So like you're correct in the sense of how I imagine you're imagining the things. Of course, there's
Mhm.
obviously a difference between trans women and cisgender women. That's why we have trans and cis. But yeah, it's yeah. Oh, dude, it's that
I
that's
I,
like a
to- I
minefield.
totally
Yeah,
understand because every
yeah.
time I talk about it,
Mhm.
when I say it, I say the only reason I'm saying it is because
Mhm.
we're talking about it. Like I would never walk up to a
Yeah.
person and be like, "Oh, are you trans?" Like there's no
Mhm.
unless maybe I'm dating them, but then like usually, I mean, in my experience, every trans person I've ever talked to is like always upfront about it. Like I don't live in an area where there's this huge issue where like people are too afraid to like come out with their identity and everything. Um,
Mhm.
so like every time I've had this, I haven't actually had an issue with it. But like I know I don't go around being like, oh, what's going on between there? You know what I mean? It's not really necessarily
Yeah.
relevant to me.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just so loaded though. You can really get the shit on for saying anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if you defend trans people in my conservative chat, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, no, there's only two genders, and I'm just like, well, I mean, I guess we could. I mean, I guess we could technically subscribe to that idea as a society. It's just like, why? What do you really lose as a society? Um,
Yeah, that's a big one of the big fun things. I say fun. Trans issues are this is it's kind of mean to say this, I guess, because I don't have a stake in the end of the day. But like for me, trans issues are fun to discuss because it's a good exploration of how somebody like really grounds their understanding of the world. Because there are a lot of people that will scream, like facts over feelings, facts over feelings. You're like, oh,
mhm,
cool. Well, like what do you think gender is? And they'll start screaming at you about like, oh, well, genders are these rigidly defined scientific categories. Like, not really. Like, you're never ever in a laboratory and like you look at a cell and it's got like an M on the male cell and an F on the
mhm.
female cell. Like that's not true at all. Like all of these categories are ways that we view the world. Like they don't actually exist. It's just how we organize things and they make sense to us. But like a lot of people's minds will just completely and totally break down.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
That's I think the more and like this is probably like really simple to you, but for me,
Mhm.
just the concept of like social constructs was very big for me, and like just the realization that that more things are a social construct than are actual fact, and that was like a huge thing for me.
Well, there's there's different levels that you go through, and then I don't know what the last level is, but like for the level so like level 1 is like, oh my god, like some things are socially constructed.
Mhm.
Like for instance, like obvious things like countries. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like a country isn't real. Like, well, but that's obvious. Maybe some people are like, oh yeah, of course.
I
Like we
think a
go to
lot of
Google.
people that would like blow their mind almost. At least from like because again, like I'm from like from I don't
Mhm.
know if you call them normal people. I don't know. I'm just from like a very
Sure.
pretty mixed place where like we don't think about this shit usually. This is very new to me.
Yeah, you just kind of take it for granted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Now it's just like, oh yeah, that like, that makes sense. But you never would have
mhm.
thought it. It's just like a fact to you, and you just live your day doing your job, and you come home, you pay your taxes, and then you stay out of politics 'cause that's not your job. You don't want it to be, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But like once you get like, you can get past like the obvious social concern, you go to like the next level. Like level 2 is at like, oh shit. Like I think that like things that we refer to in like categories are socially constructed. And a lot of these things don't seem like, so things like gender or, things like a black person or white person, why is it that when a white and a black person have a baby, we always consider that baby black? Like, well, wait, what does white and black
You know, I
actually
never
mean?
even
Like
thought
even
about
that
that.
gets, yeah, that gets
That's
like
actually
very weird.
interesting.
Yeah. And then you go even deeper and you get to like level 3. And then at some point you at level 3 or level 4, you'll start to realize that actually every single thing is socially constructed. Everything that we deal with is constructed. You can get into these weird like anti-realist positions. So like for instance, like a hand, like the fact that you separate the matter in your hand from the matter around it, like we recognize that as a category of thing, but there's not actually any like epistemic or metaphysical reason why these things ought to be separate things. It's just we recognize it because there's value there. But if you keep climbing and climbing or descending, I guess, like the levels of like deconstruction and absurdity, eventually you have to reach an area where you go, hey, these things are socially constructed, but that's okay. Some things are well, everything is socially constructed, but they're constructed that way because they mean something. And it's okay. Like things can be socially constructed and they can still have value. A lot of people that are like stuck in like level 2 or 3 of like deconstruction have this weird problem where like, oh my God, that's socially constructed, so it doesn't mean anything. It's like, well, no, hold on. If it's socially constructed, it's explicitly doing that because it means something. Just because something is socially constructed doesn't mean it's not real. And more importantly, it doesn't mean it doesn't have value, which is something that a lot of people get stuck at as well.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely. Like
part.
I know that was totally fine. Like don't even apologize. No, it's like very
Mhm.
interesting because I never thought about it in that context. Like with your hand, like
Mhm.
yeah, you could. I mean, like I imagine that we separate them for like scientific reasons, like just to treat people. But like we didn't necessarily have to. Like I guess if I was going to simplify what you just said, but that's like crazy because like yeah, no, that's like the new thing I'm learning. And then like I try to at least for like a lot of people in my chat, I try to also explain to them that not to melt down over social constructs. Like I always start with like, hey, this is a social construct. Now let's have a
Mhm.
conversation about why it doesn't necessarily make it valid. Like I always say, like yeah, like I believe gender is valid, but like just because it's a social construct doesn't mean it is. But like it means
Mhm.
that we get to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, that's
And
the important part about
mhm.
deconstructing things is to realize that it just because it exists as a social construct, it could be that, and it could be very valuable. But the important thing is we can change it if we need to, because
Right.
the ultimate point in recognizing that categories are constructed is that we realize, well, why do we construct them? And the reason why we construct them is because they give us a value. That's the whole reason. So if we know that, well, now we have the power to change these things if we could get more value in another way, which is the ultimate goal. Yeah.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And that comes to like
Mhm.
what do we really lose is like accepting trans people. Like I think I guess blurring the lines is it as a vague
Mhm.
term, but then it's like, well, like who cares? Like what's the worst case scenario? You kiss somebody who was born a guy? Like what do you like I don't
Sure. Yeah,
like,
and I mean, even at that, like, I can be generous. I can see valid arguments there. Like, it is entirely possible. I don't know, but it is entirely possible that gender is actually something that's really important for a lot of people to
oh, it
latch onto. Maybe
absolutely
this
is,
is
yeah.
part of developmental. Yeah. In which case, maybe there is some value in like separating out certain identities. Like, maybe not. But it's good to explore. We have to know that it's like none of these categories are beyond question. None of these things are given to us by fucking science. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. Fuck, I just like had like a total thing I was gonna say, and now it just dead, lost it. Oh, I think
Oh
yeah.
shit.
For me, I think the only thing that like I would generally say is that, and maybe this is like a hot take. I don't know. I'm not a particular advocate for trans people in sports.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only thing. And of course, I think that you should like express if you're trans, like when it comes to specifically physical or sexual engagement. But that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
for sure. I think that that's a very, very, very interesting area of exploration. It's something that I'll argue against too, and I've had a lot of fighting in the past about that. That trans people in sports doesn't work to just put them into their identity categories. But the reason it's really important to explore the reason why, because it kind of exposes flaws in how we view sports. So the reason why we do that is because we think that there are some physiological differences between men and women that grant them different capabilities in certain athletic events, which is obviously true. That is true.
Well, yeah, and I
Undeniably
think
true.
that's where I come from. Yeah, for sure.
But the thing is, what that exposes is that, well, the reason why we separate out male and female is because we try to we like to pretend that like all athletic events are like merit-based things, and that's like important for us to maintain our enjoyment of these. But the reality is that's actually not even remotely true. Like a lot of stuff that works in athletic events, like works on like biological realities that a lot of people don't have any control over. It's not anywhere near as merit based as we like to think it is. Like you're not going to find a lot of guys that are like 5'6" playing in the NBA. I think the average height of an NBA player is like 6'5". You know, like it's insane. And yeah, it's something interesting to think about because people will like hyper fixate on like, okay, well, we need to like, trans people can't do this. It's got to be fair. It's got to be fair, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, it's interesting that we look at it that way. There's a lot of other restrictions that we could place if we wanted to make sports more fair. Like in fighting sports and combat sports, we usually have weight classes. You could theoretically have a weight class or a height class for every single sport. Is it fair in the NFL that like you have to be able to be, 6'3" and like 350 pounds in order to like compete, as like a linebacker or whatever? Like, should there not be like different divisions there? It's something to think about.
No, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, I guess it's because it's a team sport that different sizes can be valued in different ways. Like, I imagine a kicker doesn't need to be 350 pound, but I totally understand what you're saying. I guess the fairness thing comes more from like women's sports because I don't think that men's sports are really threatened. And I also don't even think that like professional sports aren't threatened because I mean, my understanding, and I would hold to this, is that pretty much everybody who's like a top tier, super like well paid athlete is on some kind of performance enhancing drug. And at that point, I would say like, I would imagine that like a trans man isn't exactly going to be able to compete because, they're already going to be taking testosterone, but there's already going to be a base of test on somebody who's like playing, football, for instance. So,
yeah.
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 Good.
True.
But that gets into like a whole other thing. I didn't even know that they had like Olympic. I didn't even know that there was like. I didn't even know trans people were allowed in the Olympics until like last month. You know that?
I think it's supposed to be as long as they've been off. Or as long as they've been on gender drugs for like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy restricted. Like I think like trans women have to have their test levels below a certain point, and I guarantee you that like the cisgender women.
What'd you say about me?
Go away, fatty! You stupid fuck. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, I could have taken that like you're talking to me, right?
Oh no, I'm talking to the other guys.
No, I'm just
you can't call me a male slur anymore on Twitch. TOS.
Yeah.
Oh
Wait,
God.
did you?
I think they didn't update TOS till like the 22nd of January, right?
Oh yeah, it's not updated yet. That true, soy boy. Wait, hold on. I have a quick question. Do you ever get fined for stuff that comes out on the mic?
Me?
Who?
Yeah. No.
Oh
Tabor.
fuck no!
Oh.
No way! No, I especially like with no fans in the stands this season. There's no way they could enforce
How
that.
do people hear you saying like? Because we saw your.
If you watch on the sidelines, there are these guys who hold like massive. They look like half bubbles, like a giant like bubble that's been cut in half, and I don't know what the point is other than to capture the audio that's on the field. But I don't know why they would really want that. I think it's to get during the game when the quarterback says like down, like basically like that. But they follow the guys the whole way down, and I think that's the only reason why you could hear me on that clip.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry. All right, just wondering. Okay.
All right.
Okay, sorry. What's up?
No problem. Hey, listen, it's all good. I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, the TOS is like something like simp and incel are now banned. Is that what it is? Is that real? I read something on it, but I feel like it can't be real.
You'd think not, huh? That's pretty real.
I mean, nobody. Oh, virgin too. You can't call somebody a virgin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, who cares? I don't really understand the point of it. Is that like a real big issue on Twitch?
I guess so. If they're making new rules about it, I don't know, man. The Twitch has gotten to a much different place than it used to be. In some ways, that's for the better, but in some ways, it's a little bit. I don't know, but
yeah. See, this is like I'm just really just being introduced to it, so I guess I don't really know what the differences are. I know like they're pretty restrictive on like music now. I don't think that they used to be. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, well, it's more just other people are filing a lot more complaints now. So Twitch is having to take it a little bit more seriously. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. And then like I know when I do, sometimes I'll look at like my VODs after, and like for some reason like Nick Fuentes is always muted. I don't know. Like somebody will send me like a TikTok of Nick Fuentes talking, and then like that gets the whole segment gets muted. I don't know if he's like a pariah or something.
On wait, muted on Twitch or muted on?
Yeah, like muted on Twitch, like for some reason. Like I've had multiple segments
playing like copyrighted music, because the only thing that they match is like content that'll show up for like DMCA stuff. It's not about like
that's weird then.
Like bad or unacceptable stuff. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Yeah.
Oh, they don't care about bad or unacceptable stuff.
No, it's not. Well, they'll ban you for that, but you won't get auto muted for it.
Oh, okay, that's weird then, because that's what I got. Like I got auto muted for something that he was talking about. I don't even remember what it was, but it was just like a 1 minute TikTok about it.
Weird. Yeah, he must have been playing like some copyrighted audio or something in the background, I would imagine. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, yeah, it's a TikTok, so there might some people like overlay the
music
words. Yeah, they overlay words over the music, even if it's muted. And then just because then it can't get muted on TikTok. It's very weird how the platform works. Still mute. They've muted me for like crazy stuff. Like I've made like silly, because I do also do satirical content. So like I've had a video. There's a lot of people who like to be very edgy. They'll be like, oh, I'd only date a girl who was born a girl, and so like I made a joke back, and I was like, oh, that leaves more like cute trans penis for me, and they muted that, and I was like, why? Like I thought it was funny.
Gotcha. Nice.
Yeah, right. Pretty epic.
Pretty epic. Yeah. Good on.
I know one time, I don't know, it's so stupid. Like it was during the whole Trump thing. Somebody was like, hey, Papa, did you see what happened with like I forget what it was. It came to like testimony with Tiana Trump or something. And that's the day I learned that that's a porn star. And like I had to shut my stream down because I Googled it, and then I went to Twitter, and then it was just right. She was working, you know. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but we're still learning.
Yeah. How long have you been doing like online content stuff?
Just since March, honestly. Like that's when I first started doing online content. I've been on Twitch for maybe 3 months now. And that's pretty much it. Like I'm very new. I'm very new to the platform. Like I'm still looking into like I've had a conversation like Vosh before. I've seen like some Hassan stuff. I've seen your stuff, but that's pretty much it.
What did you talk to Vosh about?
It was towards the beginning. I guess he didn't like it. I had like I don't know. I said something about like girls that had high body counts, like like I think I said they had like a higher chance at STDs and that they might be loose or something. And then he said something. I was like, yeah. No, afterwards, like it kind of made sense that like, you know, like you're in a relationship and you're getting plowed every day. It's the same as if you're not in a relationship and you're getting plowed by a different guy, honestly. So whatever. And then we just chatted about just general vague bullshit. I don't even necessarily remember all of it. He asked me if he could sell me on communism. I said no, but maybe it'll work in the future. I just haven't really seen any indicator that it would absolutely work now. That's pretty much. I don't think there was a whole lot to it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, nothing too big and crazy. I haven't really had like a whole lot of conversations with a lot of people who are very formally educated on particular topics.
Well, don't worry. In the online world, nobody has education, so you're about as educated as any other person.
I could fit right in. I think I just have to be bold. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I just decided to be like a super aggressive, like pro-Trump conservative, I could be really big right now.
Maybe. Those conservatives are getting hit pretty hard.
Oh,
a lot of social stuff. Although I think you have a good chance on Facebook. If you want to go over there, you might be able to do it. But.
Oh, does Facebook go do well? I was thinking about trying to post something on there, but like I don't understand how the hell like do you post your videos on Facebook? What the fuck are you supposed to do?
I don't know, actually. I thought about starting to try stream over on Facebook, but I haven't gotten
to actually stream on Facebook? They do that?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I probably won't.
Yeah.
Well, because I am partnered on Twitch. I know that like you were, and you.
Have then you can't. Yeah, I'm free.
Yeah. No, I know. I heard. I don't know exactly what it was. I guess Riot Tensions. Was it over? I mean, I don't know if you don't want to talk about it. We totally should.
Oh yeah, it was over the Kenosha stuff. I basically said that like if you want to go shoot rioters or whatever, but I said it in probably the spiciest possible way I could have said it. So
yeah, no, that's what I heard.
In a video game, but yeah, yep.
Yeah. But I figured you don't want to like redrag through that, But yeah, you know, I guess I could get that. I mean, not to get too into it, like I agree with your perspective on it for the most part. That whole situation is fucked, though. I'll tell you that. The whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing was just
for sure, pretty dumb.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? How have you been holding up after that whole thing? Anyway, I see that you stream on I've seen you stream on like Twitch and YouTube now, right?
Yeah, I dual stream now, and I think it's been going like pretty well. Yeah.
Does it work? Like, how does that? not to be weird about it, I'm just curious. Like, does Twitch have any limiting factors? Like, or excuse me, does YouTube have any limiting factors like Twitch does?
Well, now that Twitch has gotten like way more anal about music, I'd say they're pretty similar. Yeah.
Are you able to still monetize YouTube? Because I know on Twitch, like they remove everything if you stream on there.
I can't monetize anything on Twitch, but yeah, I monetize on YouTube pretty well. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so YouTube's just kind of sucking everybody up, huh?
Hopefully we'll see. Yeah.
Oh shit. Hopefully, are you looking for the downfall of Twitch? Or?
Well, I mean, they fucked me pretty hard, so yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, shit. Hopefully, well, I mean, who knows? I mean, at least for me, it's like if inevitably, if I have to go to YouTube, it is what it is. I'm not really too worried about it. In case my blackface doesn't go well,
Are you able to? Yeah. Are you able to monetize TikTok that well?
Not really. I make some money, not a lot at all. Some people can do pretty well on it. So like I was over the summer and like when I was able to like make more edgier, like fun jokes, nothing I don't think was super disparaging, but I was like really high in the priority. Like I would get like, videos with like millions of views every day. Then they kind of slammed me. They slammed me with like a ban, but it was like an accident, so they reversed it. But then I was put back in low priority. Ever since then, it's like that. Then they added monetization to the platform, so like there's advertisements on there, and that's when you could actually make money on there. So I was hitting like high views when you couldn't do that. And now like some people make some money. They'll make like some people make decent money. Like maybe they'll make a few $100 a day. Depends on how many millions of views you get. For me, it's like nothing. It's like $20 a day. I mostly try to use it as like an advertisement towards like coming onto Twitch and whatnot, because that's like kind of where I make my money.
For sure.
But yeah, no, nothing crazy. I know that I don't know if you're on there, but like you have plenty of the clips on there. People pop up there. I don't know if it's monetized for those people. I wouldn't know. I think they have something against people monetizing other people's content. But I see like, you're all over there. There's a bunch of people with like clips all over there, like fan accounts.
Huh. Yeah, I've seen some people will like link my stuff or whatever. I just don't have it's not me, yeah. But
I mean, well, you don't want to pop on the platform and start doing like dances or anything? You're not feeling it?
Yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple I don't like dance, but like I can actually twerk pretty well.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I could. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's actually I'm actually like I'm not even kidding, honestly. I could probably find something if you're if you don't want to look at it, you could just tell me right now, but like yeah, no. Like I put, do some just stupid shit. It's been a while though. But yeah,
I mean, if you really want to,
no, it's totally fine. I don't need to see me twerking if you don't want to. I just know people are always surprised when I'm like, yeah, I can like bust it out pretty well. Like I'm pretty good at twerking. Like I've got it mastered.
Oh, okay. I believe you. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
maybe I'll ask later. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe like when it's after dark time, you could turn off the camera and turn off the lights and go to work on your
stuff. The stream is done. Yeah.
Yeah. This way you don't get any content strikes for illicit content.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't want to take. I mean, I'm totally fine with just bullshitting, but I know that also you do a ton of shit. So if I won't take up your time if you're all tapped out on me.
No, I mean, I don't think I'm doing anything important right now. So yeah, if you ever have anything you want to chat about, or if you have anything else you want to bring up, yeah, go.
I don't even know. I wouldn't no idea. I can't play Minecraft. I'm fucking awful at it. That's pretty much.
Oh no.
I'm really bad.
Yeah, I don't even. I can't explain what I'm doing right now. But
no, I don't even. No, it's fine. I played a little bit with my fans. They always like beg me to play, and I'm just like I'm so I grew up on like World of Warcraft and like I grew up on Dota 2 and World of Warcraft a lot.
Yeah,
I played some League. Yeah, I used to be like really good at like for whatever reason they don't reset all your stats. So like on my Dota 2, I'm like top 3%, but I can't play it anymore because it's been so long and I'm just so bad at it. And Dota's like complicated. I played some League for a while. I only had like gold 4. Wow, I'm just constantly like out of that game. It's an actual disease for me.
True. Do you play any retail? Wait, did you play Classic when they made it, or?
Yeah, I did play Classic. I forgot it come out like last year. That was right when I actually got like a promotion on my job, so I was working like 50 plus hours, like so I had like no time to keep up. So I was like, now like I would want to get back into it, but there's no way because everybody's addicted to. I don't know if you know too much about it, but like the top tier content's already out. And like the biggest flaw of the Classic game is like the inability to like or the difficulty to catch up. So now I just play retail because like there's they actually have catch up mechanics in that, and they just released a new expansion. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll play retail.
Do you have like a group of people that you raid with and everything, or do you just like try to clear all the quests, or what? How does that work?
I have some people that I play with. I have like I just started playing. There's like maybe 4 of them. They have like a guild and everything. They raid. I usually get really into like the mythic pluses. I don't know if you're super familiar with that. But it's
I know that there's like ratings for the different raid levels and tiers and everything.
Yeah, they have scaling like 5-man dungeons, and I used to do that a lot. And I know they have like a competitive scene now, so I was thinking about like actually pushing for that because I used to like but that's pretty much all I do. I go on, I clear. My fans yell at me. They say, please stop playing this terrible game. And then they send me YouTube videos to watch while we're playing World of Warcraft, while I'm playing World of Warcraft. They love Darman. I don't know if you know who Darman, if you know who that is.
Nope.
He's like he's a YouTuber. He's popular. He's a YouTuber, and he does like these ridiculous scenarios. It's like, gold digging wife, cheats on husband, and then she learns a lesson, and it's like, oh, the husband made a bunch of money and became a CEO and breaks up with her. Like just stupid, like really dead brain stuff that they love. So we watch it in the background. But that's pretty much it, man. That's like my day to day now. And like I'll say, once Trump got out of office, like that was like crazy how like I didn't lose all my traction, but I was like, wow, people like super instantly, even myself, super disengaged on politics almost instantly. It's like the shroud is gone.
Yeah, a lot of people meme that like, major media is going to run out of content and blah 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 after that, and I know a lot of people were riding on that whole Trump hate quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought about voting Trump just so that like I could stay relevant, but I'm like, you know what? It's probably not like the the best thing to do.
Yeah, probably not.
Honest thing to do. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. I live in New York, so. But yeah, I know that Caitlyn Bennett came off of YouTube now. She's like, they're censoring me too hard, and I'm like, I think it's because nobody gives a shit about you now because Donald Trump's out of office. If I had to guess.
No. Have you like embedded yourself in any communities yet so that you can get into like group drama or anything? Or
no, I have no idea. Somebody made me a Reddit, and I don't understand Reddit, and I don't know anything else. I honestly have, like, I'm super out of touch. I can't even get BTTV installed because I have no idea how it works. But yeah, no, I have no idea. Is that like a thing? Is there like communities to just stir up drama on and to fuck around on?
Yeah, basically, the way to check for this is if there's any community ever, it will stir up a fuck ton of drama, basically. Yeah.
Oh shit! I guess I should try to get myself into a community. What are they like online? What online spaces do they do that? Not to like harass you about.
So if you're looking for drama, your best bet is to probably stick to either like Twitch or YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, basically every Reddit, every online pub has a ton of drama. You'll find it.
Okay. What do you like? How do you insert yourself into drama? not to try to force myself into petty shit, but I'm just
super easy.
curious.
Basically, anytime somebody does anything that you don't like, make a video calling them out, and then your fans will fight their fans, and their fans will fight your fans, and inevitably there'll be some huge confrontation. And then
how do you call them out? Do you tag their name in like your YouTube video or some bullshit?
Yeah, basically like, hey, I'm making a YouTube video on Papa whatever. This like fat piece of shit is a motherfucker. I hate him. He's fucking low T soy boy. Fuck this guy and fuck his followers. And then once that video goes out, your followers will watch that. Some of them might make response videos. You'll make a response video. Then my fans will fight your fan. And then basically, then you got a whole fucking drama going on. Yeah, and everybody's screaming at each other. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, that sounds kind of terrible. Is that something that you have to do? That seems like it's something you almost have to do to stay relevant, huh?
Well, you don't have to, but I mean, if you want to.
No, I don't know if I want to get that dramatic. Like I've seen some bad takes from a few people that I don't particularly care for. Not to get all weird like Hassan on that. Like I don't hate people. Like I'm not like, oh my god, what a loser. I feel like a lot of people, especially progressives on this, just in general online, just like shit on each other for like the slightest differences of opinion. It's very bizarre to me.
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes.
Just like a little thing. Like I mean, I wasn't streaming or anything, but there was just some kid. He was talking about Medicare for all. Like I personally like the idea of like maintaining a private option while having like and he was like, no, it can never work. And I'm just like, listen, man, I'm like an older guy. I like a slow transition, make sure everything works pretty well. People get really fucking pissed off at you.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, oh my. I feel like we're trending in a positive direction. Got like there was one kid I had a conversation about communism, and my basic thing was like, it was just, hey, how do you value somebody more if they like work harder? and I accidentally used the word pay, and they're like, "Wow, you're so fucking dumb." And I was like, "Bro, like you know what I'm."
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of shit that you get engaged into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people can get pretty crazy online.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that much. I have a question actually. Do you know why why progressives hate Blair White so much?
Yeah, Blair White is basically like a token like trans figure that the right can use to shit on left-leaning people. Basically, she's like pretty conservative, and has said like a lot of like pretty gross stuff about trans people and any other political issue in the past. She faked a video about getting assaulted by like I think Bernie supporters or whatever in the
What?
past.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then she won't say she faked it, of course, but she absolutely did. She released some video of her getting attacked or assaulted or some shit or whatever, but the way that the video was cut together was really weird. And I think me and a bunch of other people were telling her to release the unedited footage, and she never did. And I think she deleted her tweet about it, maybe. But like, yeah, fuck her.
Oh, really?
And then she said weird stuff in the past, like she's used a lot of like weird terms, like when trans women get an operation on their genitals, you're basically just making a giant gash or whatever, just like kind of weird stuff like that. And yeah.
What, like a trans, like I thought you kind of press the, simplify it, you like press the penis in, right? Is that what it is? What the hell is she talking about?
Like, well, I think she describes like trans vaginas as like wounds or gashes or whatever, just like, yeah, kind of like shitty stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus. Okay. What the fuck? I've only saw like her one take on like Janae Marie Kroc, because I used to be like pretty into lifting. So like I followed Matt. Well, I don't want to say like Matt Kroc, but like back when she was Matt Kroc. Would that be the way that you'd phrase that? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah,
I have no idea. But back when, and then until now, and like I've always respected Janae. I say names wrong too, and like she just kind of lied about her wanting to wanting trans people to compete. Or what she lied about, like Janae saying that she wanted to compete in like the women's division of powerlifting, I think, and then like a whole video about it, and like that's the only thing I know. And I was like, okay, from my perspective, I was like, okay, maybe it was an honest mistake because I've never really looked at her stuff.
Yeah, no, she'll make quote unquote mistakes like that. But the truth is, the reason why she's making such horrible mistakes is because she's just super ideologically driven, and if it agrees with her, she'll just like post shit without even checking it. Unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because she's like quick to jump on the anti whatever train. It's like people go crazy over that shit. The trans people and trans communities online and progressives need to drop the whole trans athlete thing. I think it's a really dumb. I don't think it's a good argument.
What, like
people
trans athletes? Yeah.
The idea that like trans women and trans men should just be competing in those categories is a little bit not. I don't think that's. Yeah. I think that there is a far more nuanced conversation to be had there than just like, oh, cool, they've been on hormones for 2 years, like just go ahead and throw them in. Like, I think there needs to be way more honest conversation about that. But people are scared to have it for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I imagine it's because like they'll get canceled. It seems like even you're a little nervous. You got some.
No, I've had these conversations all the time. Actually, I'll fight there. Yeah, because I feel strong. Because these conversations are actually important to me in other areas of my life that I'm progressive on. And I notice that people short circuit a little bit when I have some of these conversations. So, like for instance, like I remember arguing with a person. And her argument was like, well, actually, the average strength of like trans women and trans men, or the average strength of like all women and men, if you take it all as an average, is about the same as one another.
I don't think that's
and it's like
true. Yeah.
Well, not only is that super not true, it also harms other prevailing narratives that I have as a progressive. Like, for instance, like women have to be more careful in dating related stuff because men typically represent far more harm to women than women can to men, just because of size differences. That's just a fact of life. And it's like, am I just supposed to throw that whole idea out because you're making arguments related to trans people? Like, that's a little bit weird,
Yeah, no, that's actually like a really good point. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I don't think people usually think like that. It's more about like an emotional, like kind of and like not that emotions completely nullify your argument, but like people get a little too like like, oh, you're criticizing trans people. It's like, I feel like who cares? Not like who cares in that sense, but I feel like a lot of people. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just where I'm from. A lot of people like around me, they just literally just don't care about like any of it.
Yeah. And it's not like super niche. Like there's a plethora of trans issues. Like arguing about trans people at like the elitist levels is like the nichest of the nichest of the nichest like type of argument you'll be making. So
yeah, that's
it's annoying that like so much attention gets focused on that. Yeah.
We're still having trouble getting people to call like Ellen Page he, right? Or sorry, Elliot Page. It wasn't even that wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
But stuff like that. And I'm still like exploring like the whole idea of like having multiple identities. Like identifying as like a he and also like they. But I had a conversation with like a TikToker, and like they very recently introduced me to the idea of like gender euphoria instead of just dysphoria, which has been like a whole other thing that I've had to like really sit down and try to critically think about. Shit's fucking crazy. At least that's from my
Yeah, it's a
perspective.
lot.
Yeah, no, it's just a ton of stuff to try to educate yourself on.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a lot of fun. Definitely interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's an experience for sure.
Have to wait for the negative from it. But, so yeah, I don't know. Let's see what else. I don't even know. I mean, I don't really know all of your beliefs, and I know that you don't know any of mine. I don't know. We talked about blackface.
Yeah.
Trans issues. I don't really know. I can't imagine that there's a whole lot. I mean, like other than like I don't know, hyper specific things. I don't know. Like what about do you think you could be racist towards white people? I don't know. I feel like it's just such a stupid fucking thing to talk about too. The things that people talk about on the internet are so dumb. I don't know. What do you got for me? If you don't have anything, I'm totally fine with whatever.
Yeah, I can't think about anything right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that burden is like on me to come up with some topic, and you know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't like. I guess maybe I don't watch enough, but I don't really see like any of these fucking hot takes everybody gets so triggered about.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that in your chat now. Ask about being racist towards white people. People play games so much with like the definitions of words, and it's very frustrating. I think everybody agrees that people can be racist towards white people, and everybody agrees that you can't be racist towards white people as long as you are clear on the definitions. Like a lot of people will play that game, or they'll be like, "Can you be racist towards white people?" And it's like, I think so. And they're like, "Well, actually, you can't because the definition I'm using is power plus prejudice, and as a class, white people possess all the power." It's like, okay, well, I guess if we're using that definition, then I guess no. Like as a class, black people can't be racist against white people, but for individuals,
that would be like systemic racism, right? Or systematic. I don't know if the
but
proper
some
verbiage
people have
is.
gone. Some people run with this idea that just the term racism period implies like some type of class thing. So people usually just start fighting over the definitions. But
yeah, I've had a couple of conversations with a few people. In my experience, and I would never generalize this, but in my experience, the people who do this are usually. I've had a couple of conversations with a couple of black people, and they seem to be racist themselves, and they kind of push the narrative to make it seem like they can't be racist. Like I had one guy just sit there and I was like, yeah, I totally understand. Well, I don't totally understand systemic racism. I don't know if I ever could, but like I understand the concept. I believe its existence. I get it. I know it's like a huge factor, but individually it's like a different story. And then I've had like people sit down and literally just say to me, it's like, white people are just like inherently more savage than everybody else. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's a
yeah. If you start to get into weird like
I was like, oh,
Nation of Islam stuff or whatever, you can that can get very strange. Yeah,
it gets a little crazy. But that's just my experience. It's a lot. I mean, I know that like most people in like actual real society actually think that. Like, I don't even think, at least the black people that I know or Hispanic people, I don't even know what the proper wordage is. They don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. Everybody's just trying to work.
Yeah, a lot of this political stuff is very much like online and online only. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Most people are just like worried about how they're going to make their money, and that's like the most galvanizing thing for like at least from where I'm from. It's like middle class worker, everybody's just trying to make $1. We don't really give a shit about anything else.
Yeah.
Just my experience, I guess. My privilege as a white guy. Yeah. I think that. What the fuck else is there? I don't know. Let's see. Something spicy I could say. Yeah, I don't think I actually have anything. There's not that many policies. There's healthcare. There's racism. There's trans people or LGBTQ issues. And like, what else is there in life? Like, what's your favorite burger? I guess.
You live on the East Coast?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Have you ever been to In-N-Out?
No, I haven't. I don't think that there's In-N-Outs by me at all.
I feel like that's a West Coast only thing.
Yeah. What about Sonic? Is that by you guys?
Yeah, I have Sonic. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, for me, okay, so maybe like White Castle. Have you ever had White Castle before?
Yeah.
I like White Castle. I think it's pretty good.
It's okay. I'm not gonna like go crazy over it, but
oh, come on. What do you mean?
Just like mini burgers and stuff. It's not like amazing.
Well, the food outside of the burgers, I think, is like the best. Like they have some pretty good chicken sandwiches. They have like macaroni and cheese bites. Those are really good.
Oh, weird. I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, those are like fried macaroni. Like it's really unhealthy food. That's probably more expensive than any other fast food chain that I've been to. But like I don't know, it's like a pleasure food. But my mom used to work for them, so like it's like a bias. Like I grew up on it. Just eating like total shit, which has nothing to do with my weight. Like
Sure.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Guess that's not a whole lot of shit going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Fuck, hold on. Somebody linked a thread where you called me out.
Oh,
So,
no, before you even look at
uh-oh.
that was at the beginning of like my whole thing, and I totally misinterpreted what you said. I actually made a
Uh-oh.
video on it later. It was like a take about, I don't even remember what it was. Something about immigration.
Uh-huh.
Where I can't even do this. Was at the this was literally like a month. Okay, I think what I thought you said, and again, from the context that we've already provided, I had no fucking idea what I was talking about during the beginning. But I think I thought you said something about, oh my god, what the fuck did I think you said? I don't know. I don't even remember. It was some dumb bullshit take on. Yeah, well, you're gonna play it. Go ahead. But it was.
Fuck. I won't play 'em.
There you go. But I'm gonna
Oh,
like. I don't agree with the take anymore. I've actually since like I actually made a thing about it. Because I just didn't understand what you had said. But hey, listen, just fucking dig into me, bro.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
We're
no.
trying. Oh my god, it won't play. You're looking at
That I am lucking out right now. Like, there's nothing I could possibly defend on it either. So it's. But hey, listen, go.
What was it about? What did he say, guys?
It's something to do with immigration. Where like I don't even remember. I think I thought you said something about. Bro, it was such a stupid fucking take. I'm trying to remember. I mean, if I really want, I could dig through it. I mean, like, see if I could find the original video. It's so old. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, fuck it. Let's see. I have like so many videos. I shitpost so much. But it was something to do with immigration. You were talking about immigration. I don't remember what it was exactly. But it was like a pretty, what'd you call it? Like a pseudo woke take on that. I'll dig through it and see if I can find it for you, just because, you know what, fuck it, who cares, right?
Yeah, sure.
It is. This is the one that made Vosh want to message me.
Uh-oh.
And, we flirted.
Someone in your chat keeps screaming beauty standards and pedophilia. Do you have a hot take on pedophilia?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm like, like what I said when I came in, I'm like, I'm not a groomer. But, no, literally, it's just like a TikTok meme where it's a TikTok meme for a lot of these like younger girls to say all female beauty standards are derived from pedophilia.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and then I made a video today that was like, listen, most of the people saying that are like really skinny girls, and most guys like big, big, I said the word big mommy milkers and like wide hips. That's like a meme too. That's pretty much it. I don't think it's like a super hot take.
I could see, if I was like trying to give the best version of that other argument, I can see some arguments related to that. Obviously,
like the hair thing, obviously, yeah.
Or even women that act like children, I think sometimes can get really popular.
Is that how you'd interpret that though? Women that act like children, or are you saying that like innocent acting women are acting like children, or are you just talking about the
sometimes? So I'll name a specific person that I think they already hate me on this platform, but they know they should. Do you know that Nico girl that does the okay boomer, like that shit?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, you should. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the most popular TikToks of all time, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think that girls that act like that, like all of the uniforms are like they look like schoolgirls, and their appearance just very much looks to me like, oh, like you're 16 years old in high school. That's what it looks like, man. People like hardcore that gravitate towards that type of aesthetic a lot kind of make me wonder. I don't think I'm going to sit here and say like, if you like that, you're a pedophile. But like, I could kind of see some people like arguing that like, this is a little weird.
That's one of the arguments is like the schoolgirl outfit, just the general innocence. Lack of body hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's too much after that. Oh, short women. And at that point, I'm feeling like we're just kind of.
Well, nah, that's.
Yeah, like that's men just like, I don't know. I feel like women are just generally shorter. But yeah, that's something like super hot take. I mean, like, I feel like on the app, it's a bunch of kids. So it's not like I'm super challenged in like some of the takes I have. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm, people. I mean, I don't think I'm a stupid person, but it's not like I'm having the most like critical, nuanced conversations. There's no way to have it on there, because if you try to have like a take that requires like time and the energy to actually expand on it, you can't have it there. TikTok's just full of people looking for like their 1 minute hot take, and it's like, it's just pretty much just a shitathon. I don't know if that's how it is on YouTube, but like it's just people shitting
that's on how it is everywhere on the internet.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that would be exclusive to TikTok, since it's like, because only 1 minute is like the most you can do.
And it's most people that make 10-minute videos on YouTube are saying about 20 seconds worth of content, so it's more or less the same.
Oh, really? I guess you got to get that ad money, right?
Yeah,
Makes sense. for the ad money. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, my chat's yelling at me for not looking at them. I just kind of like dart my eyes around constantly. What the fuck else do you guys want me to ask? I talk about how bad the TikTok political scene is. I feel like that's like a given. Where talk about these booty cheeks. I don't know if you're that interested in talking about that. We could have a conversation about that if you want.
Wait, talking about what exactly?
They just said no. This is what they always do. This shit to me. They say like, "Hey, Papa, can we talk about booty cheeks?" Like I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just like a bunch of shit. They say stuff like all the time. Like they asked me one time about like some Trump policy. They're like, "Oh, what do you think about the suck on these Trump policy?" And I'm like, "Oh, let me look into that." And they're like, "Oh, suck on these nuts."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." I get hit with that constantly.
Have you heard about them trying to get like people together in real life, like content creators and stuff? Like, have you ever been to SawCon before?
Yeah, right. Oh, SawCon. That's what they got me on. And I was like, "What?"
Shit,
I was
okay.
like, "Oh, what's the SawCon?" Oh, so you're trying to just get me on that?
All right.
Yeah, suck on these nuts. Yeah, new ones, man. I think it's so funny when they get me on it. It's just like so preposterous. I love that. They said polyamory. I don't know if that's something that you want to talk about.
Yeah, if you want to, I don't care.
I don't know. Well, no, because I'm actually poly, so.
Well,
that's
I
why.
am too, so that's
there
probably
we
a pretty
go.
boring conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I mean, like, it'd be cool if, like, we could extend the, what would you call it, the legal benefits? Is that what you call governmental benefits? But
oh, like in terms of
like marriage and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Wonder how that. I mean, I don't know exactly what they are anyway, but that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So I didn't know that you were poly. I don't know if you want to expand on it at all. We don't have to if it's boring for you.
I mean, what's to be expanded on?
I don't know. I guess everybody. Well, I don't really know because I don't really talk. Because most of the polyamorous people that I see are obnoxious. Like you can kind of tell that they're poly because they do really cringy shit, and they're very expressive about it. Like that's the thing I don't like. I don't like people who like make their like one identity about themselves like the forefront of them. It gets very cringy very quickly. So, I guess I would never expect it. But then again, I don't know if I exactly look like a typecasted. I feel like I look like your pretty typical conservative individual. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't mean, there wouldn't be any hot takes there. What else do you guys want? Well, Pizza Hut, Domino's, those are great questions. They asked, I don't know if this is something you want to expand upon. They said Nick Fuentes and Hassan. I guess a debate that you guys had or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we did debate a long time ago. It didn't go too well. But,
yeah. Well, that sounds like it's something that's pretty out of the range of yeah. It's a while ago. And now they're just talking about Ratatouille. Yeah, so I guess I don't have a whole lot of things. Unless I mean Ratatouille was pretty good, honestly. I don't know if that was your favorite Disney movie.
I thought Ratatouille was really good, but
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was pretty great.
Are you worried about tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? If you hit me with like a SawCon.
Yeah, that's just a meme. You're just supposed to ask people if they're worried about tomorrow. Sorry.
Oh, is that like a meme?
Yep.
No, I was hoping you were going to try to hit me with like a SawCon I've never heard before. I mean, I am a little worried because it's pretty heavily snowing out here. Like, I don't even know what we're supposed to get, but it's going pretty crazy. But that's about all I'm worried about.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Are you worried about anything?
Nope, not that I can think of right now. Not yet.
Yeah, no, I got nothing. Tell him you made a communist kid cry. Okay.
Make a communist kid cry?
I guess. I don't know. This kid wanted to talk to me about communism. And I was just like asking him a question. I was like, hey, so how do you value people more in communism and how do you get people to like gravitate towards particular jobs? And he just wasn't answering it. And he kept trying to talk about like the theory of communism. I'm like, listen, man, I just want to hear this. I was like, I'm totally fine. And then I asked him, how do we get there? I was like, maybe in the future we could possibly become like a communist country, but I don't believe in like radical, like what is it called? Anarchist, like anarcho kind of a things. I really think that everything needs to be like a slow progression. And he just was subtly hinting at like an anarchy,
the revolution or something.
Yeah, the revolution. I'm like, even if it could work, every other country's gonna shit on us once we do it. It's just not really practical. And then he got like really upset because I was yelling a little bit because I was just like, just please answer my fucking question. Like but I apologize, but I felt so bad. Sometimes you just get a little. I get a little barky. Yeah, heated. That's probably a better way to say it. I don't know what the hell I came with the word barky. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I mean, I got nothing. I don't know if you seem like you're kind of guy that's like a communist, right?
Really?
No, not at all. I think I've seen a couple of things where you've had conversations about it before.
Yeah, very much not that. Yeah.
What about the morality of sleeping with a relative?
I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think yeah, we do a lot of that used to be like one of the big meme debates is like incest or whatever.
Oh, was it
'Cause it's very
really?
yeah, you do it. I used to do it a lot because it's very easy to tell how quickly somebody like thinks through any of their moral positions, based on
Really?
how angry they get. Like, yeah, fuck, what was the name of it? There's a term for this. It's called like moral dumbfounding or something. But basically, you ask somebody like, "How do you feel about X issue?" And they're like, "Oh, that's horrible." And it's like, "Why?" And they actually have no response because they've never actually thought about it. Like, well, I
Oh,
don't
what,
know.
like
And then
incest?
yeah, incest is like an example of that. Yeah, and if you ask somebody like, "Why is it so fucking horrible?" Whatever, usually most people actually can't give an answer at all. And it's really funny to watch people get frustrated and like scream at you and try to like figure out an answer, and they don't really have one. And yeah.
Yeah, right. I guess the only real thing when I think about it is like, the kids having a higher chance of coming out a little funky, right?
Not even. That's actually not even a good argument because
Really?
yeah,
They don't
because
come out funky?
well, they could, but the problem is that that's essentially like a eugenics argument. So let's say, for instance, we say that like, well, you ought not to have sexual relations with a person that you could produce like a genetically fucked offspring with. Well, like, couldn't we extend this to a whole bunch of people with genetic diseases in the population and say you shouldn't have children? That's the problem we run into with arguments like that.
Sure, that makes sense. I guess it depends on who the sibling is. I mean, I guess you can get into like a conversation about like power dynamics depending on if it's like two siblings or if it's like like an
Yeah,
uncle
there
or
are
whatever.
definitely reasons to be against certain like types of relationships, but usually what happens is it has nothing to do with the incest part. It has to do with other things as well. So, like for instance, when we talk about like children and their parents, well, like this is really bad because of like the amount of power that the parent often has over the child. Like these relationships
Yeah,
will never
right.
be immoral, but it doesn't really have anything to do with like they could be adopted and it would still be really immoral, or it could just be like a friend's parent and it would still be really immoral.
Yeah, right. No, that makes sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
I know that like this is like a weird thing, but I know that like long lost siblings or not just long lost, I think relatives like have like for some reason that they have like a higher chance of wanting like of being attracted to each other, which
Maybe,
is
yeah.
weird. That's just something that I had heard. Do you have any siblings?
I do. None that I'm attracted to,
All right,
unfortunately.
that was my next question. That was gonna be
Uh,
it.
They're probably cool, but I mean, like, is it the Westminster effect? When you're raised with somebody, you don't really see them in a sexual light. So,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't want to like sleep with any of my family.
mhm.
But like I remember when I was younger, I had an uncle, and he told me because I actually have a half sister, and I met her when I was like 12 or something, or when I was 14, and he was like, he told me he's like, why go across the street if you can go across the hall? And that kind of,
Jesus Christ.
and I was like 14 at the time, and I was like, wow, that's curious because my mother's bloodline's like very strong, so like I kind of look like him, and then I'm like, well, what
Uh-oh.
if? And then I met my sister, and the only thing that we look similar on is like our pinkies are bent. That's like a weird thing. So I'm like, I
Mhm.
think maybe my uncle's my dad. That's just been like the whole
Interesting.
thing. Yeah, right. Imagine that.
Ever decided to go and get a test or anything, or
No, I figure like we're just better to leave it alone. Like what is that? How does that
why stir
positively?
up drama in the family? Sure.
Yeah, that doesn't really help me. It's just gonna make me feel like shit.
Mhm.
I'm just looking at your chat now. Okay, that would be like my luck. Like this would be the thing I'm known for now. Is just being like the product of incest over like a funny like a little joke, but
Give you a much more personal connection to the debate. So,
that's true. Yeah, no, I have like a leg in it now because like I have a
mhm.
lot of issues. So I'm like, hey, listen, we shouldn't have incest babies. Eugenics.
Yeah. And
Sure.
hey, if you have a child in the future, if you're an incest baby, maybe they'll have like 2 or 3 legs in it. So,
But hey, listen, that might actually benefit us. Who knows? Maybe it'll help them walk better, or I feel like it probably wouldn't.
yeah, I feel like probably not.
Yeah, I think
I
like
don't
that.
think very many people born with extra limbs get like the awesome ability to control said limbs,
No,
but
right. I think like
you know,
maybe pinkies and pianos. I heard might be like a beneficial thing.
maybe.
I heard something
Um,
something like that.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they'll have killer Halloween costumes probably. But
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I guess on the topic of eugenics, like, is that something that you're in support? Like, I'm not that I'm in support of eugenics on like any type of. I think like Sweden does. Like, they force you to. Do they force you to abort you like a Down syndrome kid? Is that a thing?
I feel like if that was the case, I would hear people talk about it. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
so.
just heard somebody talk about it. I don't know what the hell it is. Who knows if that's true? I don't know. Gonna look that up now.
That's the kind of thing where if it was happening, I know I would know about it because I know somebody would have brought it up by now.
Let's see.
Someone in my chat said they test for it and 90% plus end up aborting. It might be like culturally.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd be surprised if there was any like Western government country that like forced you to have an abortion, though. That seems like pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a little interesting. It's a pretty base take, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because and then I feel like on abortion, we're probably, I mean, I don't know what your exact stance is in it. I'm not too personally thrilled about the concept of it personally, but like I feel like it's kind of a necessity. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I could go either way on it. I don't feel very strongly about one answer or another when it comes to abortion. It's a difficult one for sure.
Yeah, right. Because like you kind of like you run the risk of, because I'm totally, you know, the old meme. I was just gonna say like I just don't like giving women more rights, but I'm totally fine with killing babies. Like,
sure, yeah,
kind of a thing. That's like my biggest moral dilemma on it.
Damn. Wait, where did you get that from?
I don't know. I feel like I probably TikTok. I feel like that has to be old.
Oh yeah, damn.
That's kind of like an old meme, right?
Yeah, there's a guy that I used to I used to, I guess he just doesn't do as much anymore, but a guy called Maddox made an image of that a long time ago, like fucking 15 years ago. And I think he wanted to make like, he was like, I'm making the regressive party. We're anti-abortion before killing babies. Yeah.
There you go. Now I know the meme history. Holy shit. Yeah, I never would claim that as my own. That's but yeah, no, I thought that was kind of funny when I saw it because I have like college, you know, I have like high school humor, like a lot of poop farts. I think it's funny. We kind of want to bring that back a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, no, not today anymore. That shit is gone. But
you don't like
the internet. The internet is a very different place now. I don't think that humor it will ever survive again.
Oh yeah, well I didn't mean like I don't know. You know who Ray Williams. Wait, what the hell?
Ray William Johnson. Oh yeah, Equal
yeah.
3 was the old show that he had. Yeah, damn, way back in the day.
Yeah, so I just saw like he's on TikTok now and he re-uploaded like a video he put up there and it's just like girls twerking and him pressing a button and making him fart and I'm like, wow, this used to be funny.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I mean, I'm not even like super YouTube educated. Like the first time, do you know the video like Scarlett takes a tumble?
No, I don't. But I'm guessing it's an old meme video.
It's just some old video where some girl is like is on a table, she's overweight and she falls. And like I remember my ex showing that to me, and I was like, oh, like which friend of yours is that? Like I never had a concept or understanding of like YouTube. So
for sure, yeah. Booming out.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, read the chat, please. Okay, I don't really know if you guys I don't know. I'm going to ask you this, but I don't think you want to talk about it. They want me to ask you about like your drama with Vosh, but I feel like that's probably something you don't want to talk about.
My entire life is on the internet. I don't really give a fuck. They basically we had an argument over the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, and then a lot of prominent members in his community amplified the fuck out of a clip related to it, and I ended up getting in huge trouble over it. So.
Oh, is that the clip you had an issue with, like your like Twitch situation?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I watched some of that. Like, I was like, oh, it makes sense to me. I ended up watching more of it lately, and I was like, yeah, it's like a fucked situation. I don't think anybody's happy about it, but I understand like the morality aspect of it.
It's really irritating how the narrative on things shifts so much too. Like, but that's just part of online politics, I guess. Like, I wish that like if somebody was like, I fucking hate Destiny, I don't think you can defend property at the expense of other people's lives. I totally disagree with that. It's like, okay, fine. I think that takes time, and I'd argue with it, but sure. But when people are like, I fucking hate Destiny, he worships Kyle Rittenhouse, and he wants Nazis indiscriminately murdering Black Lives Matter. It's like, really, dude? That's what we're gonna run with?
Yeah, right. Like that's, I mean, you know, if
not even remotely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking, that's pretty nuts. Because I do know that like maybe this is like hyperbolic, but there's like a lot of like seems like some questionable groups supporting it, Kyle Rittenhouse, but like it didn't really seem like he went over there to actually shoot anybody, just like to defend businesses, right? Like that whole, you know, whatever.
He, honest to God, like I had people like I think one of his friends was like posting me shit from his Snapchat stories or whatever, and all the shit that I looked up about him. He, honest to God, he just seems like a really big like do-gooder conservative, like supports the police kid. Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah. Like this guy who was friends with him on Snapchat was sending me videos of him like going around like cleaning up graffiti in his hometown and shit, and like helping some grandma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like that kind of guy. And I think he was on like the junior cadets for like the police or some dumb shit. And I think he was like in Kenosha. He worked as like a lifeguard, like basically just like a conservative kid. Like that is what it looked like. people are trying to make it sound like he was a Nazi and shit. And their connection is there was one guy who was in the Facebook group that Kyle Rittenhouse was in, who posted Nazi memes on his Twitter account. It's like 13 levels. Where it was like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm sure. I guarantee you. I think I'm in like some old fucking Facebook groups. I guarantee you, there's like Nazis all over that shit. I have no fucking idea. Like,
probably. Yeah, no, that's crazy. I didn't even know he was like a Boy Scout. Well, not a Boy Scout, but you understand. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't.
Yeah, he's just like one of those like, oh yeah, I support the police. Like, blah blah blah. Like, I'm a good conservative boy or whatever. Like, basically. Yeah.
Well, that's not really super acceptable online anymore, I don't think.
Not online, but it's annoying because like in the real, like the problem is like online, people think that like blue lives matter means you're a fucking Nazi fascist. It's like, dude, there's a lot of people that just like cops, believe it or not. Like a lot of people just like think cops are chill. Like,
yeah, like I mean, like, listen, I've had some well, honestly, I can't even say I've had like super bad interactions with cops. I feel like I've been kind of an asshole to some cops and like totally get away with it. Yeah, but like cops are chill. Like I pushed a guy off a stoop and he broke his neck, and the cops came like 3 days later and like, hey, we got to arrest you. They were super nice to me, and they gave me 2 pairs of handcuffs, and it's like, and then I raced a cop on accident. Like I raced a cop on like a bridge, and like I got a ticket, but like whatever. And then I got pulled over at the beginning of the coronavirus, because like when I was like I told you, I was like a manager for like a cleaning thing for like a bus company. So like I was on like overtime, and they pulled me over, and he's like, oh, you ran that stop, and I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me, just get my ticket and leave. And he's like, okay. And like I've never the cops are pretty chill, like at least in my area, you know.
Yeah, it obviously depends on a lot for your interactions, of course, as well. But
oh yeah, no, I know that could be like a whole race thing too, but you know. But yeah, no, I'm fine with cops. They're pretty cool. I mean, there's flaws like everything else. I understand that. I just don't think that that's necessarily indicative of everything. I see your chats like, oh, white, and it's like, yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't doubt it. And I have like an okay car, so I keep it clean. You know, white privilege.
Yeah,
that was like a joke. So, well, the white privilege thing, I understand it. It's like an uncomfortable term to hear. I think that's one of the things that like talking about that. It's like I understand its existence, but it's like so weird to hear. It feels so antagonistic when you hear white privilege.
Yeah, it's really become that. It sucks too how like ultra politicized it is, because it's not really that controversial of a concept. Like just by virtue of being white, in some areas, like people are going to treat you better. Like,
yeah,
I don't think that's that crazy, but man, dude, people get real fucking mad when you bring it up, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. Like people get mad, they're like, "No, I don't," you know. And I guess like I tried to phrase it, and like it's a better. I guess the better way to look at it is like, I don't know, like you're the standard that it's supposed to be met as a white person, and other people aren't, you know, hitting that standard. Just for like I guess the palatability of like white people, like some conservatives, and I can tend to agree with that. That's just how I try to phrase it. But then there's also people that like I'll have a conversation, like when I've had conversations about like, can you be racist towards like, you know, white people or whatever, and there's somebody like, oh, it's just your white privilege speaking, like you know, it's like an instant invalidator of like any conversation the second that like there's nothing really else to talk about.
Yeah, that gets really cringe when people play that shit on you. Yeah, you're like, okay, dude.
It's like that's it. It's like, oh, my white privilege. Like, all right, man. Like, how am I supposed to talk to you? Like, that's, you know, you're just gonna kind of go back to that. I got nothing. I can't. That's like the ultimate card. How am I supposed to do? But how I'm bald. That's my disprivilege. Although I think I do it pretty well.
Yeah,
I got lucky with that. Not with my receding. I think I started receding at like 22, but a nice head. Let's see. Let's see.
Ask him if he's a gamer. He already says he plays World of Warcraft, but he plays retail, so I don't know if he counts as a gamer or not.
Listen. If you want to play, do you play League, right?
We don't talk about League.
Oh, that bad? Were you like part of like the toxic earlier shit?
I just fucking hate that game, but yeah, I play it. I love it, but I hate it. It's not good for me.
What rank are you?
I'm not really ranked right now. I think last season we got to Diamond 3. But every time I get to I'll try real hard. I'll get trapped to Diamond 4, then I'll make it to Diamond 3. I'm like, all right, fuck this game. And then I'll quit for a while. And then next season I'll do the same. Yeah.
No, that's fucking nuts. Like I'm terrible. Like I don't know. I mean, like a Gold 4. I used to get so angry playing video games. Like I always tell people, I'm so lucky that I had like any level of traction online. Like after the way I used to be. Like I've broken computers off of like having bad games. Like really just stereotypical like South Park fat guy, I guess, kind of a thing. Like fucking hate the times. Like I've like I was fucking like ashamed of myself. So I was never able to climb. Like maybe I could have if I could keep my cool and not like break things after. Now I can. You know, when you're a young little shit. I remember being young and like we had like a, I guess I don't know what you'd call it, like a computer screen. The fact that I can't say it. Yeah, it wasn't like one of those old box monitors.
Like the CRTs, yeah.
Yeah, like I was breaking ones that weren't those, and then one day like I got a box monitor and like I hit it once. I was like, wow, this is never happening again because like fucking destroyed my own fist, you know.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can break. That seems like it'd be really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for like that. I guess that would be like negative reinforcement, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see. He's asking one of my followers. He's like, Papa, can you ask Destiny if he feels that people online left are sometimes outright racist towards conservatives, or I don't know what this is, heterodox black people without realizing it?
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes can be. It gets a little bit weird depending on what you're talking about. Yeah.
he specifically referenced Vosh's take on Thomas Sowell. This is like he's like one of my young black conservative followers, and like he likes Thomas Sowell a lot.
Yikes. But
yeah.
I know what you mean. That it gets weird when white people start throwing around terms. I've done it in the past, like Uncle Tom and shit. It gets really strange. It's hard to like, can you make this take? Or there's a lot of like weird issues that you can step into there.
Yeah, like I try to make like a pretty general like idea where I try just not to really consider somebody on a personal level, like what their like race is or their color, I guess. So like I personally, you know, he just yelled at me for calling him a conservative. Well, you like Thomas Sowell, so you know, there's no shame in that.
He likes comics, so there's a good chance he's a conservative.
I've seen some of Thomas Sowell. So like I don't know if I really agree with his worldview, but he has some stuff to look at, and he makes some sense in some ways. I mean, obviously I've already like laid out my whatever, but there's some things to the libertarians that make a little bit of sense, like government distrust overall. I don't know if I agree with the take that affirmative action was a bad thing, but
yeah, I guess it depends. It's a lot of you get into a lot of shit there.
Are you like an affirmative action supporter?
Yeah, but I mean, like but it becomes a definitional argument basically, where you're going to agree with me based on how I define it, and then there's not much room for argument. I think usually.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Or you can go ahead, or I can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, for me, like, I mean, it seems like it's been like a net positive, but I could see like the areas that I have an issue with it are the fact that like, you know, generalizing all black people to me takes away from like the individuals who like are the most like the greatest victims of systemic racism, like people who are descendants of slavery. Because like, you know, for instance, people who come here with like from like Nigeria don't tend to experience the same levels of systemic racism, if at all. And then it doesn't seem like we're necessarily getting the resources where we need to go. So like that kind of opportunity of outcome type of deal doesn't really seem to be as effective as, you know, baseline opportunity of whatever, you know what I'm talking about, like equity, opportunity. What did I say? Opportunity of outcome. You know what I meant? Like the outcome. We're focusing too much on the outcomes rather than like the original opportunity.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, it's actually really sad. Have you ever heard the term African American?
No, I've never heard that before in my whole life.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's actually a really important term, and we don't say it anymore because it's like not politically correct. But it conveyed like a really important meaning that in the United States, if you are like white, you know, we get to have all sorts of celebrations of like our heritage and shit. You know, like a St. Patty's Day for the Irish people, and you know, some people celebrate being German and Scottish and Russian and all that because if you're white, you typically know where you came from. And people that are the descendants of slaves kind of have a special relationship with that, with their identity in the United States, whereas they don't know, right? So we broadly had this term called African American that kind of encapsulated that. And we moved away from African American because I guess when people heard it, they're like, oh, like not all black people are from Africa. Like, well, that's not what that was supposed to mean. And now we just say Black American. But Black American is actually more vague and a little bit of a silly tag because like the descendant of a slave in America, their living conditions in general and the types of problems they have in the United States in general are going to be a lot different than like, as you pointed, like a Nigerian immigrant that's likely to be like very highly educated, pretty wealthy, like, you know, comes from a totally different area. Like, so, yeah. It's kind
No,
of
that makes
interesting.
sense. It's very interesting you bring that up because like one of the new kind of like outcries on TikTok are like, oh, white people have no culture, but black people have culture, and they're talking about like just white people as an entire like a whole, not like individual. Like, oh, there's obviously there's like German, Irish, etc. But like
Mhm.
there's an actual black culture, they say, which makes sense. But there's no like inherent white culture. I mean that there is. I mean there's like spooky ghost costumes and burning teas. That's like white culture in America. But
Well, I mean, to
yeah,
be fair, there's like people can't like just like something without fucking having to hate the opposite thing. I don't know why it's kind of dumb. Like obviously there's a lot of culture from white people, but obviously there's also a lot of popular culture today comes from black people. But yeah, I wish that people could like stuff without having to hate everything else. But
yeah, that's a good point. Like, it does seem like in order to validate like someone's like particular opinion, they have to invalidate someone else's.
invalidate
Yeah,
someone else. Yeah.
it's just bizarre. But I guess that's just the nature of you know
Mhm.
online. I don't know. That feels so online. I hate to always go back to that, but it's so
A lot of
crazy.
it is very online.
It's
Yeah.
nuts how different like shit is
Mhm.
online versus like in the real. I don't know the real world. It sound like a boomer saying that, but it's kind of
Mhm.
true. Did you like always do like? I mean, my understanding is like you kind of like set the way for like online video game / YouTube politics. Like, were you always doing this, or did you have like a quote unquote real job before this?
Yeah, it was a carpet cleaner, and I didn't do it
Oh yeah,
for
you
all of
mentioned
online.
that.
Like the YouTube scene was definitely political, and I before anything I had to do. But I kind of created that platform on Twitch for sure.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but yeah, I did carpet cleaning and shit before that, and even I did even like video games and shit like way before. I did. I didn't like majorly like take on the politics mantle until like the whole 2016 election season, and I got like way more involved in stuff.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I tried to stay out of politics and just do like jokes, and then like not 2016 because I wasn't like I didn't have a platform then, but like in like over the summer with like George Floyd and everything, and like honestly, people were home because of the coronavirus, and they were more
Mhm.
frustrated in general. That's kind of like when I felt forced to like have these to take a stand a little bit. Not like take a stand. It sounds so like preachy, but like give my input in there because people are crazy.
Mhm.
Like they're doing crazy. Like I mean, you wouldn't be surprised because I was gonna say you would be like, there's so many people who have like a meltdown over like kneeling for the flag and everything.
Yeah.
And like my perspective is like, listen, like I mean, the conservative, I guess, in me is like upsetting, I guess, because it's disrespectful. But then it's also like you have a group of people who just feel like America hasn't worked for them. Like God forbid we listen to that message for a second.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
gonna set the emotion aside for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what else do we have. I mean, eugenics. You said you're like a eugenicist. Is that the word that you'd say, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just kidding.
Uh,
Would you, if you, not to bring it back to this, but like, do you have, well, do you even have kids? Is that a personal
yeah, I've
question?
got one. I've got a son 9 years old. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know. Like, would you ever consider? No, you wouldn't consider getting an abortion. I don't think, right? Like, personal level, probably not.
I think now maybe I think it's changed. But back when obviously when my girlfriend was pregnant, my ex girlfriend was pregnant, I was very very pro life. But I
That's
think
fair.
now I would lean more towards it. Like 52-48 in favor ethically for abortion. It's a really 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 rough one, but
That's fair. It's like, well, I mean, because for me personally, like, I'm not there yet with either of my partners, but like the
mhm,
idea of having, let's say, like a kid with like Down syndrome is like terrifying to me. Because
mhm,
like they well my girlfriend works as like a behavioral specialist, so she deals with that every day, and like they're not terrible people, but it's like you're always raising a child,
yeah,
so like
it's going to be your whole life. It's a lifestyle at that point. Yeah.
yeah, right. So it's like, oh, just the potential of that. I know there's a lot of factors like the weight of like the woman or how old she is when it comes to like the increased chance of them having like a baby with like a, what would you say, what's like a sensitive way to say abnormality,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
so that kind of shit. I don't know if I would get an abortion.
Mhm.
But I'm just laughing at your
Yeah.
chat. That's the kind of shit you have to think about every day.
Mhm.
Yeah, my the person who mentioned Thomas Sowell was like they're a little upset that you didn't seem to like Thomas Sowell very much.
I've seen stuff by him. He just seems like a crazy conservative guy. I don't think I've ever heard him say anything. It's like, oh, good point. But that's just
That's fair. He doesn't look crazy. He's got a nice, attractive voice.
yeah,
Yeah, he's not bad. Well, you've heard it before. It's kind of cute, no?
yeah, maybe.
What about so are you attracted to men at all? Is that like, I'm not hitting on you, just so you know. Like, I'm not gonna.
I'm a little bisexual. Yeah,
That's fair. Yeah, I usually just
I
say
don't think
that.
I could ever like date a guy.
That's fair. Yeah, I think for me, like where my category of men falls is like feminine men. Like I like kind of, I wouldn't say like super masculine women, but I enjoy a woman that's like, I don't like a submissive type of woman that's like, oh, I appreciate like a, I don't know, like a stronger woman who like gives me shit all the time. But like when,
Yeah, I'm very, very, very much the same way. I can't women that are like very docile or demure or like very submissive. I immediately get turned off. I don't care. Yeah. I need somebody that's a little bit more challenging to deal with.
oh, absolutely, because like I'll steamroll that person because like I'm just an aggressive, So like both of my partners they'll just give it back to me, which like it's like it's I respect the mentality. That's the only way I can really function because like I can be a little too overbearing. Sometimes you unintentionally push the boundaries, so you need
Mhm.
somebody who will set like solid boundaries for you to like not fuck with them and then like back it up. At
For
least that's
sure.
my yeah. And then with men, totally like feminine. I don't think I could be into like I'm totally I like hairless men, just schoolgirl outfits, short.
Damn. Well, I
Look
got a
like
few people in my community that post pictures of themselves you'd probably like.
no,
So,
I was just relating that to like the pedophile argument from before.
oh, okay. Oh, never mind. I totally missed that.
I mean,
Gotcha.
that
Okay.
doesn't sound too bad. That doesn't sound too bad. I'm sorry if my humor's a little dry.
No, you're good.
Did this guy come on to talk about his femboy kink? Yeah, that was pretty deep seated. Like I decided to wait like an hour or so before I talked about it. I wanted to make sure that it came off like real like coy. It's like, oh, we talked about all these issues. By the way, I know you have a big following of a lot of feminine men. If any of them are interested, here's my kick. Is that a weird thing to use? Right, that's a thing, right?
Kick or kink?
Kick. Go, yeah. I'm just talking about like platforms that like are really like seedy and kind of like full of gross people. So like Kick works, right? Here's my
Oh, sure.
MySpace. If that's a thing, I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
My Discord. That's used for a lot of grooming. I think. Is it used for a lot of grooming? Somebody like refused to have a conversation with me because they thought Discord was full of groomers.
That's kind of dumb, but I've heard that's the case, but I don't think I would just automatically assume anybody from there is a groomer. But okay,
Yeah, no.
okay, groomer. Yeah.
Kick is for pedos. Your chat saying okay, then that one works. If anybody uses a Kick,
Oh, kick KIK. You're talking
yeah.
about like I
Oh,
understand
what did you think I was saying?
I thought you were just like kick like KICK. I had no idea what
Oh,
you were.
yeah,
But
no,
okay, now I'm understanding.
yeah,
Okay.
I know Kick. Well, I know okay, groomer. Yeah, that's it. Why does he keep bringing up grooming? That's a good point. Like, yeah, that's like a weird meme. For some reason, I keep bringing it up. You guys got a good point. I don't know, man. I guess it's just like I guess my nerves. I don't know, man. Can be like an intimidating situation.
Not good.
Yeah, so whatever. Is what it is. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about. I mean, I hate to feel like I'm absorbing your time or boring the shit out of you.
I can't think of anything unless you can think of anything.
Yeah, like unless you want to play like World of Warcraft one day, but like you're an elitist, so you wouldn't play like live.
I played Classic quite a bit when it launched. I'd never played WoW before. I got my character all the way up to level 7, I think.
I was about to say like, wow, how far did you get? So that's like a couple. That's like a solid couple of hours potentially, depending on if somebody was helping you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's something. Yeah, now it's a little bit more streamlined with the live version of it,
Mm-hmm.
of course. So, but yeah, I guess if you ever wanted to do that, I don't know what else I play. Did you play Cyberpunk yet?
Did I play Cyber? I have not yet. I haven't gotten the chance to yet. No.
Yeah, people keep going crazy about me downloading. I just bought it. It takes forever to download though. They really just want me to make like a game. I guess the customization is really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
If you ever want to chat again.
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate the offer. I don't know, I'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just let me know. You can always just hit me up or whatever.
Yeah, I appreciate the having me on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been like just like staring at the
me running around doing weird shit.
I do this shit all the time when I play like WoW or whatever.
Oh yeah, just running around in circles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's very soothing. So
yeah. All right.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. Especially since there was like a very unorganized conversation. I know that's my fault, but I just couldn't muster up the courage to come up with like a fake thing to force drama,
Yeah, you're fine. No worries. All right. Well, thanks, man. Have a good one.
Take care. You too.
Yeah. I'll see you later.
Peace. That was cool. All right, that was something. I had nothing to talk about, but that was pretty decent. Let's see what we got from the what's the aftermath? List of topics. Yeah, no, I just had no fucking idea what to talk about. I didn't even think he would respond in the first place. I want to say thank you so much, guys, to all my Patreons, and a special shout out to my Papa XL Patreons. Without all you guys, I would just be some fat dude screaming into a microphone. So thank you so much, guys. Mwah, I love you all. I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.